Welcome back to episode 98 of the podcast. This episode, we're still a little different. You probably saw last episode. Me and Joseph were not in the same place. But you can look over here, and he's right next to me, see?
No, I'm not.
No, he's not with me. We're not together just because. That's all we're going to say. Because. We're not giving a reason, just because.
Just because.
But it's still okay because I have Jimmy Neutron's hair.
Yes. I mean, in today's world, it's not crazy to see video podcasts. Everyone's doing it, so we're just doing it this week. Just this week.
Yeah, just this week. And so it's episode 89. Why do I keep saying 80?
Yeah,
Why
98. You're
80?
dyslexic.
98. It's 98. And tonight is going to be the midnight special.
This is the last video episode of season 5.
Yep. But also tune into tonight's episode, the midnight special. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a special guest on there probably. We have not recorded
No, we're not.
It
We're
yet.
not going to have not a special guest. Not this week.
Well, the Go Force are a special guest.
Yes. If you're talking about Wyatt and Jamark, they should be on unless something happened.
I think I know what you're talking about because we had an idea and it's probably going to not fall. It's going to fall through. But let's talk about our topic.
Okay.
So there is a little... We're on the platform of YouTube. Let's start off there.
Yes.
Correct?
Oh, yeah. Most people are probably watching this there.
Yes. They could be listening to it on Spotify. But we are also on YouTube. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's a free service for us to post our video. Mm-hmm. And then if we get enough subscribers, we're going to be able to put ads on our video, split it kind of 40-60 with YouTube, and get some sort of revenue. Right now, we're not at that place. But there's this other streaming service that YouTube has called YouTube Red. Do you know about this?
YouTube Premium. They changed the name. Yeah, it used to be YouTube Red.
Used to be YouTube Red.
Yes, I'm aware of it. Most people are.
Yes. But
Wyatt said he has it.
Oh, yes. I do not have it, and I've never watched anything from it. Well, not really, because we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Of what we're going to be talking about. YouTube had this streaming service called YouTube Premium. You paid a monthly fee and you got exclusive content that's only on YouTube Premium.
Yes. So it's YouTube's answer to the whole pay for streaming service kind of thing, which didn't work, in my opinion.
Yeah, it didn't, because a lot of, and if you just watch, a lot of YouTubers who put shows on there, like Rhett and Link, they had Buddy System on there. One that I just saw come actually to YouTube not too long ago was Liza Koshy. She's a big YouTuber. Uh-huh. She had a show on there, and it just got put to YouTube for free because nobody was watching it.
Yep.
And a lot of shows are getting taken off YouTube Premium. Do you think YouTube Premium's dying?
Okay. I think so.
But that brings us to our topic and why we're talking about this.
Yeah, so
there's a show that got bought, I guess, by Netflix, or YouTube just gave it to Netflix, or I don't know.
I'm sure they paid YouTube.
They probably did,
trouble.
But there's this exclusive show that is on Netflix now that used to be on YouTube Premium.
Spit it out, boy.
Exclusive to YouTube Premium.
You said this.
I'm building it up.
Spit it out.
I'm building it up.
Spit it out. You're just giving people frustrations.
Is Karate Kid Cobra Kai.
Yeah, the adult version.
Karate Kid, it's Cobra Kai.
Karate Kid, I guess sort of the 4th installment, but in episodic season 4.
No.
Yeah, because there was three
fourth
Karate Kids.
Yeah.
And then this would be sort of like, I don't know, the 4th franchise of that world.
Yes.
That story.
We can talk about the show itself a little bit, but that's not why we're talking about it.
We're
mostly talking about as soon as it went to Netflix.
Yeah.
It went to number 1.
For that day or for that month?
I'm pretty sure it's still on number 1. I mean, by the time
so it's just like
this
it's being
comes out,
viewed by everybody.
yeah, by the time this episode comes out, it probably won't be number one.
Yeah.
But as of now, it is number one on Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go on like top 10 shows, it's number one.
Okay. So you're wanting to answer the question of why is it that this has been around since 2018? And
yeah, it's been around for a while.
No one has cared about it until it got on Netflix.
Well, give them a little credit. People were interested about it a little bit. It wasn't completely. But only people who had YouTube Premium watched it.
Yeah, which wasn't everybody.
And which is not everybody, but it seems like a lot of people have Netflix. So people who have Netflix
has the most.
People who have YouTube Premium. Mm-hmm. I guess they don't cross over.
The thing is, though, with subscription services for streaming content, there's just too much right now.
Yeah.
And it pledges I'll say this, but I'm not going to linger on this. It creates a sort of an issue for people like us who are getting into entertainment, and we want to have a valuable way of being entrepreneur in this field. But that's to be discovered later on. But there's just a lot of streaming services.
I mean, it depends. There's a lot of streaming services out today.
Yeah.
And I think YouTube, they're known for their free service that I would say the majority of people who watch it are kids or younger people.
I don't think kids were watching YouTube Red, though.
They weren't. I think that's the big thing why it's dying, I think. Because, and I'm saying dying loosely because what do we know? Is it really dying? We don't have it. We don't know where they're really sitting. Yeah. But I think they are kind of dying. This is our opinion.
But it goes back to what I was saying. I think it's just there's too many out there, and no one's interested in what YouTube's doing because YouTube is supposed to be a free video platform.
Yes. YouTube, I think when people see YouTube, they think of a free streaming service that is free, and they have YouTubers, they have entertainers, they have channels. People like their channels. They like the gaming channels. They like their skit channels. They like their vlog channels. They like their podcast channels. However you like it, you can watch it for free on YouTube.
Yeah, that's the key.
And I don't think they like the paid version of YouTube.
No, but the thing is, YouTube was like, we're gonna make original content, so that's why they were paying for even things that weren't behind the paywall. There was stuff like Rhett and Link's GMM for a few seasons where they had to put like a little tag on their videos that said YouTube Original because YouTube gave Mythical Entertainment money to create GMM in a bigger way.
Yeah.
And so they were just going through this phase where they're like, YouTube original content. Like we gotta step it up and we can do this. But it just didn't go over well because it's just been in existence for too long. And it seemed like it still seems like it because I think it's still around. It just seems like they're stepping in something that is too different than what they've originally sold and marketed themselves on, you know?
Yes, I think, and this is going off topic a little bit from the Cobra Kai itself, but today, I think YouTube, yes, they're free, and that's how people watch it. But there's channels itself that people like, and they become diehard fans of this exclusive channel, this YouTuber. And they buy their merch. They buy their content. And they also YouTube, and I think this thing is more profitable for YouTube, is their paid memberships.
Yeah.
Paid memberships that YouTube's starting now. Well, we've talked about this. Actually, I think we talked about this on season 1.
Yeah, we talked about this a while ago. The whole YouTube Red thing.
Not YouTube Red, YouTube memberships.
We had a couple episodes on YouTube early off.
Yeah, where we talked about YouTube. You can join and be a member of an exclusive channel. A lot of big channels have that, where you can be a member.
Yeah, I think I genuinely think the thing is YouTube Premium, Red at the time, was getting a lot of people to create stuff for them, and I think Cobra Kai they put a lot of effort into. you know?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but all I hear is really good things from it. So I have a feeling that it was done pretty well. But we talked about also Rhett and Link a bunch. Their show was kind of produced by them. They were just getting paid and funded by YouTube Red to create their show. So why do you think Cobra Kai was different?
I think they were just trying to do a YouTube original, and they wanted to, in my opinion, and I know it's a different field, but I almost see Cobra Kai as the same thing as Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I think the reason why Mandalorian was so popular and everybody loved it was because it was so true to Star Wars. It gave us the 80s vibe. It gave us that feel. I know that's Disney Plus, and Disney Plus in itself is a lot bigger than YouTube Premium.
But it stayed true to the feeling of the story, to the characters, to the design.
That's why Cobra Kai and everybody likes and loves Cobra Kai, because it's that same feel and it's that same thing as that we got on Mandalorian. But YouTube itself with the YouTube Premium was not, and people don't find it, I guess, as good. They don't want to subscribe to YouTube Premium type thing. So it was such a big show that YouTube was trying to create that they couldn't just be like, here's it for free. They had to do something with it. So I guess they decided to sell it to Netflix.
I mean, it's not a bad move. I'm sure they probably got a lot of money out of it from Netflix.
Yeah.
And Netflix is going to treat it right. It's going to be exposed to the most amount of people. If it has already. I know I've been seeing it advertised to myself pretty much every time I go on Netflix for the past couple days.
Because it's number one.
And because it's new, you know, they want to let people know, hey, we just bought this, or we got it now. So I was surprised. I think that's the first YouTube Premium original that Netflix is buying from them. You know,
Do you think so? I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah. I don't know what's all on YouTube Premium because I don't have it. But if they do have shows that are worth selling rather than giving out for free, then yes. I feel like they will sell them to somebody because they don't want to just give them away.
I've heard that Netflix isn't very picky.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that watch Netflix and a lot of people that will watch something like a Cobra Kai type show.
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix in itself is always, they were the original starters of kind of like a spin-off type show with like Fuller House or things like that, to where it's continuation of something that happened years and years ago.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Netflix started that.
Yeah. But since we're talking about like YouTube Premium originals, we're talking about Netflix originals, you can open it up to like HBO, Hulu, all these different, Amazon. Who do you think does the best originals? All these streaming platforms who are making films instead of just Hollywood corporate systems who do the theater thing, but actual streaming service shows and films? Who do you think does it the best?
I don't know. I don't watch enough of everything, and I only watch Netflix and Hulu. I don't watch everything. So in my opinion, okay, if I was gonna put show for show, in my opinion, the best show out there is Game of Thrones. So that's an HBO show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for that, but I don't think HBO is the best streaming service. I think Netflix, because they have so much on Netflix, is superior to Hulu.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But I don't watch enough of everything. I kind of watch more Netflix than anything.
I mean, I've done Hulu. I've dabbled in HBO, obviously Netflix. I haven't seen very many YouTube Premiums, and I think I only started one Amazon show. The Amazon show wasn't bad. I will say it's not in every circumstance. but it seems like the good mix between quantity and quality,
Yeah.
I think Netflix hasn't made. And I think it's going to be hard to beat them in the original game, except for Disney Plus, because they were Disney
Yeah.
before they were Disney Plus. And so they're just like,
That is
here's
true.
all of our stuff, and here's all the stuff we're continually making. So maybe Disney Plus has a higher history, but even just artistic cinematography and the way to present a story, I haven't seen anything like some of these Netflix shows and Netflix documentaries. Like, they're beautiful. They're done so well.
Yeah. The Netflix documentaries are. A lot of people watch the documentaries because they love them so much.
They're incredible. And even just the shows. Like, I remember I think the first original was House of Cards?
I don't know.
It was one of the first originals, if it wasn't the first original. I remember watching that, and I was like, oh my gosh. I've never seen... Game of Thrones is very cinematic, very artistic, but I've never seen a simple drama like House of Cards like a show be shot in such an incredible way. All of the drama shows I've seen have been a little bit more like rough and tumble, you know what I mean? Like, set up a camera on a tripod and you kind of follow some basic rules. I've never seen a show that was just for a drama take so much attention to how the composition is and how the lighting is. And it's such beautiful. And Netflix has done that consistently across so many big shows like Stranger Things. What's another one? I'm blanking on every show on Netflix.
Stranger Things. Did you already say that?
Yes. I think Ozark's a Netflix original. That's incredibly artistic. It's really dark. I don't know. Forgive me. I know a lot of them. I'm just not thinking of them at the moment. I'm just saying, when you watch a Netflix original, whether it's a film or a documentary, if it was made by Netflix for some reason, I think they found a really good balance of quantity and quality, and not too far on one of the extreme or on the other side. You know what I mean? So it seems like they have a good balance between those two things. I don't think YouTube Premium... Again, I have to watch Cobra Kai. But I don't... And a lot of it, even when it comes to all this quality, it's still going to come down to like whoever they got as the director, cinematographer, the people who are making the film, just because you're funding it. But I don't think YouTube Premium cared as for quality as much. I think when YouTube decided they were going to try to do the streaming thing, it was quantity over quality for sure. Cobra Kai might be the anomaly, but I think they probably messed up, and I think they just rushed it, and they had a bunch of YouTubers create their originals, and they probably wasn't done very well, and people weren't that interested.
Yeah, I think that was the big thing is people, and when it comes to YouTube, they focus on more of the individual channels.
Yeah.
So if someone likes a channel like Good Mythical Morning, they're going to focus on that channel, and they're going to buy their merch. They're going to do watch all their videos. But if a streaming service like YouTube Premium comes out and there's all these different YouTubers that have their own show, but like Good Mythical Morning, they only have one show on there. You can only watch that one show so many times before it gets boring. So if you like only Good Mythical Morning, you're not interested in all these other shows because you're not really interested in those channels unless you like those channels. So when it comes to YouTube, I think it's more of liking the individual channel rather than the whole YouTube itself. And that's something that is different than a streaming service like Netflix, where you watch originals, you watch each show, you watch something new every time you get on. You can binge something.
Yeah. And the thing is with Netflix, whoever wants to compete with them has to go pretty far, because every single country has different shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, every single one. And I mean, it's global, it's worldwide. It's hard to compete with Netflix. And it makes sense that Netflix is like, oh, you're not doing so good? We'll take that one show you did pretty all right. You know what I mean? We'll give you some money and we'll take that and put it on our service. And
Has Netflix bought anything else like that?
Oh, they've bought stuff all the time. I don't know if they've bought anything from YouTube except for this. But it wouldn't surprise me if there's a couple other things on YouTube that were done pretty well that we're not aware of that pops up on Netflix. I think this is pretty much YouTube waving the white flag. You know what I mean? They're pretty much going like, hey, we gave it our best shot, the old college try. We can't do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're also going for things like memberships and things like that. Yeah. They're more interested in doing their own thing rather than a show.
YouTube has enough problems. They're trying to police every single person in the world on their platform. So
yeah, that is true. Well, I think that was what I wanted to say about it. Oh, actually, one more thing. You weren't, even when we were younger watching The Karate Kid, you weren't really interested in The Karate Kid, were you? I know this wasn't just about Cobra Kai.
It was an interesting story. I watched it a bunch. I never really got super into it. It was a fun story.
Have you seen all three?
I can't remember if I saw the second one. I feel like I did.
You saw the last one though?
Wait, which is the second? Do they go to Okinawa?
That's the second one, yes.
Okay, so I think I've only seen the first and second. I don't think I saw number 3. If I did, I watched it once and I wasn't paying very much attention. But, the first one's the famous one, so I watched that a bunch of times.
Yeah. So I guess that's all I wanted to say. Do you have any last inputs? This is episode 89. I'm kidding. 98.
98.
So we got the Midnight Special, and then we got the 100th episode. 100. Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We're at 100.
We're right on the doorstep.
Okay, after 100, we should do something crazy for the 100th. Will you shave your head with me for 100?
No. Not for 100. I'll do something else. I told you I'd show my nipples, maybe. We should talk about our tattoos and take our shirts off.
Wait, we have tattoos?
Oh, no.
Wait, do we have tattoos? This is news to me. Did you hold me down, give me a roofie, and give me a tattoo?
Dude, like 5 of them. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I don't have 5 tattoos. What are you talking?
All right. We really appreciate all of you who have watched this episode. We really thank you for everyone if you've been with us since like episode 1. Wow. Thank you. That is awesome. If you've been back in the days when Joshua had long hair.
I did.
If you remember those episodes, thank you. I mean, you've been watching for a while. We're not done by any means. If you
remember episodes like this where we had Skype calls, then that was a long time ago too.
That was earlier this year. Wasn't it crazy long?
Was that this year?
Yep.
Man, it feels like forever.
I was thinking before we close, a big thing's happening in the podcast world. The day of recording this, we're about a week ahead. And so Joe Rogan's coming up with his first Spotify podcast tonight at 7. It's about to come out.
I'm interested because
he hasn't been on for the whole week. And then another thing is his good friend Joey Diaz and his podcast, The Church of What's Happening Now. They have they're not really sure what they're doing with his podcast, and he's been going for just a little bit less than Joe Rogan has. So, because he's moving to Jersey, Joe Rogan has moved to Texas, and so you're not sure about Joey Diaz's podcast quite well. He says they're going to try to keep doing stuff, but they're not sure. But, we're starting episode 100. We'll see. There's a couple big names in podcast world that is changing up for them, some in a good way, some in a sad way. But, I feel like podcasts, there's like this weird movement where podcasts are kind of like shifting, like right now for some reason. We're on that train. We're moving into 100 and season 6.
Yeah. What's next? Stripping? That's what next for us?
We'll show you our nipples.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. Thank you for following on Spotify.
Have a good night. Watch the midnight special tonight.